days after denying reports of the scheduled arrival of a Chinese research vessel and following India's clear message about carefully monitoring the developments, Sri Lanka's Ministry of Defence has now confirmed that the Chinese vessel had sought clearance to call at the southern Hambantota port. Sri Lanka's Defence Ministry media spokesperson said, and I quote, "The vessel will be in Hambantota from August 11th to 17th, mainly for replenishment, including fuel." Reports of the vessel involved in space and satellite tracking came to New Delhi's notice earlier this week, and the Yuan Wong vessel is a vessel which is used for tracking as well as spying, but China claims that it's a research mission. With us on the broadcast we have Colonel Shivdan Singh. We also have Wing Commander Praful Bakshi with us, Major Muhammad Ali Shah also on the broadcast, as is Ambassador Suresh Kumar Goyal. If I can just take my first question from Wing Commander Praful Bakshi. Thank you so much, Wing Commander Bakshi, for being with us. Now, India has already sent a clear message to Sri Lanka. We've been very, very vocal about what we think of this Chinese research ship coming to Hambantota. Sri Lanka now saying that it's only coming for replenishment purposes. Is that something that India should believe, or is Sri Lanka just playing it safe?
Thank you very much. Good morning, and for having me with you. This is an ongoing problem. Hambantota is the root cause of all the problem in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka getting into debt. Chinese want a strategic port out here, and they have very much succeeded in getting a port. Now, this Chinese vessel, the surveillance vessel, which is out there, and they're calling it a research vessel. Actually, it is surveillance and monitoring the satellite and monitoring the frequencies. All goes in hand. Question is, when they say the ship is for victualization, this is a law of the sea, that even during war, if there's a neutral country and a warship enters the port and says, I want victualization, the neutral port is bound to give only fuel and to reach the next port, and food and water. That is all. So if Chinese vessel has given the statement that I want victualization and Sri Lankans have agreed, then we can only fret and fume about it. The question is this: we cannot physically stop it until we find that Chinese ship is affecting our security. We prove with it, or carrying out such activity which is jeopardizing the security of India, then our Navy is supposed to take action. Otherwise, if Chinese government has said that the ship is for refueling and replenishment of fuel and water, then India will have to accept it. This is the law of the sea. During war and in peace, any time this is there. But question is, this will continue. Chinese submarines will come there. They are patrolling it. Why? Because South China Sea is hotting up, and there is an Indo-Pacific, strategic environment being made where India is being the leader of the thing. Creating of an Asia-Pacific Union sort of a thing is already underway, and China knows about it, and Chinese calling it South China Sea NATO. So Chinese are calling it.
So then, I'm so sorry for interrupting you and Wing Commander Bakshi, but we're running out of time. Ambassador Goyal, if I can just take one question from you before we wrap this up. Ambassador Goyal, how are you viewing the China sending its vessel to Sri Lankan waters? When it comes to help, not much that has been given during the economic crisis, but when it comes to taking, so to speak, advantage, the first in line?
It does create a very ticklish situation in the region. First of all, as Wing Commander Praful Bakshi says, that if the ship is on call at Hambantota for basically refueling, etc., it's very unlikely that Sri Lanka would be in a position to say no, particularly when Hambantota is actually owned or under management by a Chinese company. So Sri Lanka would have very, very difficult time saying no to it. What can happen is that if the Chinese ship is actually engaged in information gathering activity, the Indian sensors would be able to pick up those activities and then consult with Sri Lankan government that this is what the Chinese ship was doing. Now, after having done that, what position will Sri Lanka take is anybody's guess. But means is that eventually this region is again becoming a problem area for India's security. And in that situation, where Sri Lanka is either unwilling to do anything or not in a position to do anything. So we have to take a call on this very, very carefully, considering the strategic dynamics that exist in the region.
All right, thank you so much, Ambassador Goyal, for giving us your view on that note. Viewers, we've grossly run out of time. Sorry to our panelists that we've not been able to accommodate in the broadcast. But
for more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.